Welcome to Quiz Time. I'm your quiz master, Sean, and I've got 100 questions for you about the good old USA. So let's see what we know about the United States and have a little fun doing it, shall we? Let's begin. Which of the following states is not part of the iconic Route 66? Missouri, Kansas, or Colorado? Which one will US 66 not take you through? That would be Colorado. Which historical period is most closely associated with the melting pot idea in the US? The Civil War, the Gilded Age, or the Roaring Twenties? Well, that comes about due to the Gilded Age. Which of the following is a rare plant native to the United States? Is it the dandelion? Is it the cactus pear? Or is it the Venus flytrap? It is the Venus flytrap. What achievement is recognized on the stars of the Hollywood Walk of Fame? Would it be sport accomplishments, political service, or contributions to entertainment? Oh, that honors contributions to entertainment. What is the name of the U.S. military operation that began in 2001 after the September 11 attacks? Is it Operation Enduring Freedom, Desert Storm, or Iraqi Freedom? That was Operation Enduring Freedom. Which element is traditionally associated with Mardi Gras in New Orleans? Easter eggs, parades and costumes, or Thanksgiving dinners? New Orleans. That would be parades and costumes at Mardi Gras. Where did many African Americans migrate from and to during the Great Migration? From the south to the north, from the east to the west, or from the Midwest to the south? They migrated from the south to the north. Which U.S. state is known for having the most active volcanoes? Hawaii, Alaska, or Oregon? The state with the most active volcanoes? That would be Alaska. Which U.S. state is known as the Sunshine State? Is that sunny California, sunny Florida, or sunny Arizona? The Sunshine State is Florida. Who is the king of pop? Who also produced Thriller? Elvis Presley, Michael Jackson, or Frank Sinatra? That would be Michael Jackson. What color is the Golden Gate Bridge famously painted? Is it red? Is it orange? Or is it yellow? The Golden Gate is painted famously orange. What is one of the main reasons many people live in poverty in the United States today? Is it because they're lazy, low wages, or bad weather? It's low wages. Did we just start an argument? Which endangered plant is found only in Hawaii? Is it the western lily, the ghost orchid, or the Haleakala silversword? Haleakala. Haleakala. It's a Haleakala silversword. I think I got that right. Which of these is a rare insect found in the United States? Would that be the fire ant, the monarch butterfly, or the American burying beetle? And that would be the American burying beetle. That's rare? Which of the following best describes Yellowstone National Park? Would it be the Grand Canyon, Mount Rushmore, or Old Faithful Geyser? One of those three is at Yellowstone. And that would be Old Faithful Geyser. In which year did Thanksgiving become an official national holiday? Was it 1776, 1863, or was it 1920? Thanksgiving officially became a national holiday in 1863. Thanks, President Lincoln. What is true about the Chicago Cubs 2016 World Series win? Was it a 4-0 sweep? Did it break a 108-year drought? And was it 1920? It broke a 108-year drought. Broke the curse! Where did the Wright brothers' first powered flight occur? Was it in Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, Los Angeles, California, or Dayton, Ohio? Well, they were from Dayton, Ohio, but it took place in Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. Which 1980s TV show featured a talking car named Kit and starred David Hasselhoff? Was it Knight Rider? Was it the A-Team? Or was it Magnum P.I.? It was Knight Rider. Which iconic toy, introduced in 1983, became a craze with small figurines? Were they Beanie Babies, Cabbage Patch Kids, or G.I. Joe action figures? Cabbage Patch Kids. They were all the rage. What 1985 movie featured a time-traveling DeLorean and, great Scott! E.T. the Extraterrestrial, Back to the Future, or Ghostbusters? That was Back to the Future. Which 80s rock band had hits like Sweet Child of Mine and Welcome to the Jungle? Was that Van Halen, Def Leppard, or Guns N' Roses? That was Guns N' Roses. Which 1994 Disney movie set in Africa featured Circle of Life and Hakuna Matata? Was that The Jungle Book, Aladdin, or The Lion King? That's from the movie The Lion King. What early 90s sitcom centered on friends in New York City, featuring Ross Geller? Was that Full House, Friends, or Seinfeld? Oh, you never thought life was going to be this way. Friends! Which popular 90s handheld device featured a digital pet? Was that Tamagotchi, Pokédex, or was that Game Boy? And did you own one? It's Tamagotchi. Tell me, did you have one? Which character from The Silence of the Lambs became an iconic horror figure? Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, or Hannibal Lecter? Tick-tock, Clarice. Hannibal Lecter. Which 1980s toy featured creatures with the phrase, "Gotta catch 'em all"? Was that Pokemon, Tamagotchi, or Cabbage Patch Kids? Pokemon. In which TV show did teenagers hang out at the Max Diner in Bayside? Saved by the Bell, The Wonder Years, or Full House? That was Saved by the Bell. Which of these is a rare or old-fashioned American word? Y'all, cool, or lollygag? Well, old-fashioned, huh? Lollygag. That is really old. Which 80s song by Whitney Houston became the best-selling single by a female artist? I Want to Dance with Somebody, Greatest Love of All, or I Will Always Love You. The best-selling single was I Will Always Love You. What was the name of the G.I. Joe character known for his leadership and helmet? Was that Snake Eyes? Was it Storm Shadow? Or was that Duke? That was Duke. What was the name of the futuristic car in Knight Rider with AI and self-driving capabilities? Was it Kit? Was it Herbie? Or was it the Batmobile? That was Kit. Which 1980s tennis player was known for her rivalry with Martina Navratilova and distinctive grunts? Was it Billie Jean King, Chris Evert, or Steffi Graf? Chris Evert. Which U.S. gymnast won the all-around gold at the 1996 Atlanta Olympics? Was it Simone Biles? Was it Mary Lou Retton? Or was it Carrie Strug in 96? That was Carrie Strug, as you will recall. Which American football team won the first 2 Super Bowls and helped shape the NFL dynasty? Was it the Dallas Cowboys, the Pittsburgh Steelers, or the Green Bay Packers? Go Pack Go! It was the Packers. What was the name of Atari's first home video game console released in 1977? Was it the Sega Genesis, the Atari 2600, or the Super Nintendo? It was the Atari 2600. Which oversized footwear became a trend in the 1990s, popularized by Run DMC? Air Jordans, Doc Martens, or the Adidas Superstar? That was the Adidas Superstar. Which 1980s fashion trend featured bright colors, bold patterns, and oversized clothing? Grunge, preppy, or Miami Vice? That would be Miami Vice. The flannel shirt became a symbol of which 1990s music genre linked to Nirvana? Was it punk? Was it grunge? Or was it hip-hop? It was grunge. Which 1990s fashion icon was known for her waifish look? Was it Naomi Campbell, Kate Moss, or Tyra Banks? That was Kate Moss. Which 1980s clothing item featured shorts, a zipped jacket, and bright colors, often paired with sweatbands? Was it a tracksuit, windbreaker, or polo shirt? 'Twas the tracksuit. Which 1990s animated series followed a boy genius and his robot assistant? Was it Dexter's Laboratory, The Jetsons, or Animaniacs? Think 90s. That was Dexter's Laboratory. What is the name of the 1997 sci-fi film starring Bruce Willis and Ben Affleck about preventing humanity's extinction? Was that Armageddon, Deep Impact, or Contact? That was Armageddon. Which 1980s TV show featured Patrick Swayze and Jennifer Grey in a dance-filled romance? Was that Breakfast Club, Dirty Dancing, or Pretty in Pink? It was Dirty Dancing. Which U.S. city is home to the CERN particle accelerator? Los Angeles, New York City, or Geneva? That would be Geneva. What innovative technology did the Wright brothers invent in 1903? Was it the first powered submarine? Was it the first rocket? Or was it the first successful powered airplane? The first successfully powered airplane. Which American scientist discovered the structure of DNA in 1954? Was it Albert Einstein? Was it Watson and Crick? Or was it Thomas Edison? Who discovered the structure of DNA, the double helix? Watson and Crick. What was the first U.S. book published with a modern, realistic writing style by Henry James in 1881? Was it The Turn of the Screw, The Great Gatsby, or The Portrait of a Lady? It was The Portrait of a Lady. Which American artist is known for bold, large-scale paintings of flags, numbers, and maps like Flag in 1954? Andy Warhol, Jasper Johns, or Roy Lichtenstein? That was Jasper Johns. Which famous architect designed the Guggenheim Museum in New York? Was it Frank Lloyd Wright? Was it Zaha Hadid? Or Le Corbusier? 'Twas Frank Lloyd Wright. What is the art movement from the 1950s and 60s with artists like Andy Warhol and Roy Lichtenstein? Would that be the pop art movement, surrealism, or Art Deco? That would be pop art. Which mythical ape-like creature is said to roam the forests of the Pacific Northwest? Is that the Jersey Devil? Is it Bigfoot? Or is it Wendigo? That would be Bigfoot. Sasquatch. All right. The Headless Horseman is featured in which American legend by Washington Irving? The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, The Devil and Tom Walker, or The Telltale Heart? That would be The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. What mythical creature from American folklore is described as a bat-like being in the Appalachian Mountains? Is that Mothman? Is it the Jersey Devil? Or is it Thunderbird? Mothman is said to be in the Appalachian Mountains. What 1940s music genre features Louis Armstrong and Duke Ellington? Jazz, country, or R&B? And that would be jazz. Which 1969 music festival in upstate New York became a symbol of the counterculture movement? Was it Woodstock, the Isle of Wight Festival, or Coachella? That would be Woodstock. What is the name of the popular breakfast food made of eggs, milk, and bread, fried golden brown? Pancakes, French toast, or waffles? That would be French toast. Which American transportation company operates the world's largest fleet of yellow buses? Would that be Greyhound, First Student, or Uber? That would be First Student. What principle upheld in Plessy versus Ferguson, 1896, was overturned in 1954? Would that be freedom of speech, separate but equal, or the abolition of slavery? That would be the concept of separate but equal. What was the central issue in Citizens United versus FEC 2010? Was it voting rights, campaign finance, or equal protection under law? And that would be campaign finance. What U.S. Supreme Court decision in 1973 legalized abortion nationwide? Roe v. Wade, Miranda versus Arizona, or Baker versus Carr? And that was Roe v. Wade. Which American poet wrote Song of Myself in his 1855 collection, Leaves of Grass? Was that Walt Whitman? Was it Emily Dickinson? Or was it Robert Frost? That was Walt Whitman. Which American author wrote Beloved, winning the Pulitzer Prize for Fiction in 1988? Was that Toni Morrison, Zora Neale Hurston, or was it Alice Walker? That was Toni Morrison. Which 1930 novel by William Faulkner is set in Vokna-Padavois County and explores race and social order? As I Lay Dying, The Sound and the Fury, or Light in August? As I Lay Dying. Which state was admitted as a free state in the Missouri Compromise of 1820? Was it Maine, Missouri, or Kansas? It was Maine. What issue sparked the nullification crisis of 1832 and 33 between South Carolina and the federal government? Was it slavery, tariffs, or states' rights? Tariffs. In which year did the U.S. recognize Texas independence from Mexico? 1836, 1837, or 1845? (1837). Which U.S. physicist developed the transistor in 1947? Was it Albert Einstein? Was it Robert Noyce? Or was it John Bardeen? And that physicist was John Bardeen. Which invention by Eli Whitney in 1793 revolutionized the cotton industry? Was it the steam engine? Was it the cotton gin? Or was it the telephone? It was the cotton gin. Which U.S. city hosted the first modern Olympic Games in 1904? Was it New York City, Chicago, or St. Louis? That U.S. city was St. Louis. Which U.S. athlete won 7 gold medals at the 1972 Munich Olympics? Mark Spitz, Carl Lewis, or Usain Bolt in 1972? That was Mark Spitz. How many World Series titles have the New York Yankees won? 23, 27, or 30 World Series titles? The Bronx Bombers have 27 titles. Which basketball player, known as the Big Fundamental, played for the San Antonio Spurs? Tim Duncan, Kobe Bryant, or Larry Bird? The Big Fundamental. That's Tim Duncan. Which 1992 environmental agreement aimed at reducing global emissions was signed in Rio de Janeiro? Was that the Paris Agreement, the Montreal Protocol, or was it the Earth Summit? That was the Earth Summit. What was the name of the 1989 oil spill disaster off the coast of Alaska? Was that the Exxon Valdez oil spill? Was it the Deepwater Horizon disaster or the Santa Barbara oil spill in '89? That was the Exxon Valdez oil spill. Which 1954 Supreme Court decision declared racial segregation in public schools unconstitutional? Was it Brown v. Board of Education? Was it Roe v. Wade? Or was it Miranda v. Arizona? That was Brown versus the Board of Education. Who was the first African American woman to refuse to give up her seat on a segregated bus in Montgomery? Was that Rosa Parks? Was it Maya Angelou? Or was it Coretta Scott King? That was Rosa Parks. Which American industrialist introduced the assembly line for mass automobile production in 1913? Was it Henry Ford? Was it Andrew Carnegie? Or was it J.P. Morgan? That was Henry Ford. Which U.S. state was the 14th to join the Union? Vermont, Kentucky, or Tennessee? The first one, not to be the original 13, that was Vermont. What is the U.S. national anthem written by Francis Scott Key? Is it America the Beautiful? Is it My Country 'Tis of Thee? Or is it the Star-Spangled Banner? It's the Star-Spangled Banner. What U.S. landmark has served as the symbolic home of the U.S. Congress since 1800? The Capitol Building, the Lincoln Memorial, or is it Mount Rushmore? That would be the Capitol Building. The United States dollar, USD, is subdivided into how many cents? 10, 100, or 1,000 cents? The United States currency is decimal, and it's divided into 100 cents. How many feet are in 1 mile? 5,280, 3,200, or 1,600? How many feet are in 1 mile? 5,280. The U.S. GDP, gross domestic product, is calculated in which of the following ways? In government spending, total value of goods and services, or the total number of employees? The GDP is the total value of goods and services. Which 1900 hurricane is the deadliest in U.S. history? Was it the Great Galveston Hurricane, Hurricane Harvey, or the 1928 Okeechobee Hurricane? It was the Great Galveston Hurricane. Which U.S. state is the largest oil producer? Is it Texas, California, or Alaska? Why do I feel like this is a trick question? The largest oil producer in the United States is Texas. Okay, I guess not. Which 1913 U.S. law created the Federal Reserve? The Federal Reserve Act, the Sherman Antitrust Act, or the Securities Exchange Act? The Federal Reserve Act. What term describes the U.S. economic system based on supply and demand in a free market? Is that communism? Is it capitalism? Or is it feudalism? A system based on supply and demand in a free market? That is capitalism. Who invented Scrabble in 1938? Was it Alfred Butts? Was it Charles Darrow? Or was it Milton Bradley? Scrabble was invented by Alfred Butts. Which board game, released in 1982, was the first to feature multiple choice questions? Was that Trivia Pursuit? Was it Jeopardy? Or was it Risk? It was Trivia Pursuit. In which year was The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time released? 1994, 1996, or 1998? The year was 1998. Who created Minecraft in 2009? Was it Marcus Notch Persson? Was it Shigeru Miyamoto? Or was it John Carmack? It was Marcus Notch Persson. Which 1991 video game introduced Sonic the Hedgehog? Was that Super Mario Brothers? Was it Sonic the Hedgehog? Or was it Street Fighter? It was Sonic the Hedgehog. What is the term for a baseball hit that earns an automatic score of 4 bases? Is that a home run? Is it a strike? Or is it a double play? That would be a home run. What is the largest city in the United States by land area? Is it Los Angeles, Houston, or Sitka? Largest by land area. That would be Sitka. Which 1850 novel by Nathaniel Hawthorne explores guilt, shame, and sin in Puritan New England? Would that be The Scarlet Letter, The House of the Seven Gables, or Moby Dick? That would be The Scarlet Letter. Who invented the first computer mouse, patented in 1970? Would that be Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, or Douglas Engelbart? That would be Douglas Engelbart. What is the term used to describe a U.S. president's executive power to reject a bill passed by Congress? Is that veto power, filibuster power, or amendment power? That would be veto power. What is the name of the rock formation in Arizona known for its red sandstone spires? Is that Mount Rushmore? Is it Monument Valley? Or is it Bryce Canyon? That would be Monument Valley. And here we go. Question 100. What was the first animated feature film released by Disney in 1937? Was it Pinocchio? Was it Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs? Or was it Fantasia? The first one was Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. You did an amazing job! Don't forget to like, subscribe, ring that notification bell, share it with your friends, and share your score in the comments, please. And check out these videos. They're a lot of fun too. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.